Good day, ladies and gentlemen. And it's been some time since I've done a live stream, so I thought I would get a quick one in to start off the new year. And what we're looking at here is a new Doom mod that I discovered actually about 2 months ago, and I've just now gotten around to streaming. This is Slayers Testament, I think, or Slayers Rampage. No, it's a Slayers Rampage. There's a lot of Slayers out there, be they buffy or otherwise, or busty or otherwise. But bustiness aside, this is a new brutal Doomish kind of thing. It's actually pretty nice from what little I've played of it. Although I have to say, some of the that thing that I hate, that I can't remember the name of at the moment. Oh, what is it called? Motion blur. There we go. Motion blur is kind of annoying, but it works well enough. And we're playing a random level WOD that I played a little bit of, but haven't actually finished. Hey, you gotta get a quick one out again, especially if you're working 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. And hey, it's not how long it lasts, it's how good it is. But anyway, that aside, and that's not suggestive at all. 2020 is off to a pretty good start. I've already got to work on the Turok 3 review. Just some very preliminary stuff, though. I've recorded the first 2 levels of the game. Now, I had not actually played much of Shadow of Oblivion, and I haven't actually played much of it in many years. So, replaying the first 2 levels, first off, damn, that game is good. I had forgotten how good it actually was. In fact, you know, now that I think about it, I don't know if I actually really played past the first level. However much I played it over the years, or back when I did play it, I definitely forgot a lot about it, but damn, it is quite remarkably good. The big problem I'm having with it is pretty balls to the wall hard, and that's mainly because it was designed for an N64 controller. It definitely needs an updated re-release, and I'm just getting my ass handed to me by that Hell Knight. It definitely needs an updated re-release with actual, you know, PC controls. I don't know why I didn't get a PC port. One would have thought that it might have, seeing as how it comes from an era where Turok 1 and 2 had one, so. Whatever the case may be, it's still fun, despite the controls being somewhat annoying and the enemies being really, really, well, they're not hit scan, but they are kind of annoying. They can hit you around corners, and there's a glitch where they can hit you through walls, but still, despite all that, it's quite playable, and the story is actually kind of interesting. It's not terrible. Oh, that's just beautiful. I love to hit something, just watch it completely evaporate. And hello, Turok Fire Seed. I have not acquired a new N64 controller. I'm just still using the Xbox 360 wireless controller. It works. No, front to back. Well, if you're going to have a favorite game on the N64, you could do a lot worse than Turok 3, I'll tell you that. Because it's a lot simpler than Turok 2. It doesn't really have that open world aspect to it, but in all honesty, that's not a bad thing. The big problem with Turok 1 and 2 is there's a lot of wandering around. At least for me, there was a lot of wandering around. And so the game could get kind of dull if you couldn't find all the goddamn keys. And finding those bloody keys was, well, pretty difficult. So I kind of liked it. It's streamlined in that regard. And the cutscenes are interesting. They're not bad. They definitely have aged a lot. But it's amazing how much voice and it's amazing how much voice and cutscenes they actually were able to cram on that N64 cart. It's absolutely astounding, to say the least. The frame rate isn't terrible, but then again, I'm not sure how much of that's the emulator and how much of that is the game itself. So far, enjoying it quite a bit. The Turok 3 review is going to be like a big Turok thing. Seeing as how it's been like 10 years, yeah, that's insane, since I actually did a Turok thing. I'm actually going to talk about the comic, both the original Dell comics and the modern, well, the somewhat modern Valiant comics. I'm also going to talk briefly on the animated film Turok, Son of Stone, which I didn't really like that much, to be perfectly honest. And I'm also going to talk about the different games in the franchise as well, for those who may not know about any of them. And then, of course, I'm going to cover the entirety of Turok 3. I'm going to go level by level. There is a wide variety of annoying moments, though. And there's a lot of time things in that game as well. Like, that time limit is strict, too. Go ahead and save here. I think this is the last... I think it's just a short one-off level. Yeah, it is. Then we're back to the usual things. And blast him just for the fun of it. Alright, let's get us another Doom level. Let's see. Oh, that's the outdated version? I had no idea. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and throw a link. And I'll take a look at it after the stream. Where is that? It's not that one. Is it DB05? I think it might be. Okay, I think this is the other level I wanted to show that I discovered randomly. And hello, Paragon Studios. And one moment, let me fix that screen. And fit to screen. Or not. Or don't fit to screen. And fit to screen. Or not. That's because I seem to be selecting the wrong thing. There we go. And fit to screen. Come on. You were already fit to screen before, you bastard! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, how much do I love technological issues? A lot. Okay, and fit the screen. Or not. Well, we're having minor technical difficulties because, well, of course we do. Okay, this wasn't the level either, but whatever. Close enough. Let's go ahead and go in here and take that off of... what the hell is that? Please wait while we try to get things to work. I have this on 2K. And that's not what I want. I'll check the chat for a moment. Turok 3 is not that buggy. And yes, GZ Doom is very much a improvement over DOSBox. Although I used DOSBox for many years. I'm glad you enjoyed the Predator playthrough. That was a long time ago. Okay, hold on. Let me continue trying to transform this to where it actually is fit to screen, and it's not fitting to screen for some reason. Even though I just literally fit it to screen already before. I do not understand why it's not working. Yeah. It seems that... there we go. Okay, there we are. Now, let's see if we can't fix that now. Or not. That's a problem with having way too many things here. Display, capture cursor. Oh, how much it annoys me that these things do not work like they're supposed to. Yeah, it's not fitting the screen. There we go. This should fit the screen, though. Finally. Technology. Hey, 1992 is modern. At least it was when I was younger. Chapter 1's time. Oh, I would hate to try to do those time things on a harder difficulty. I've never played any of the Turok games multiplayer. And I'm glad Far Cry 1 works still. And I have no idea if YouTube's doing that or not. I guess the easiest thing you could do is just, save it as a comment, potentially. I do not know. YouTube is annoying. But now we finally got back to where this is working. I have no idea which level this actually is. there's a UAC Doom 3 kind of level, and I cannot find it for whatever reason. That's the problem with having a WAD folder that has like over 100 WADs in it, and trying to find the one that you're looking for. None of the names are particularly indicative of anything. But so far, I'm enjoying Slayers Rampage. Now I gotta try to remember what Slayers Testament actually was. I know it was something. Maybe there's a Quake one. I'm really enjoying some of the sound effects on this as well. Why is there a Cyber Demon literally in the first level, or first part of the level? Yeah, I wonder why I died. I also wonder why I downloaded this map, because it's kind of shitty. It's like, it starts you up with a Revenant right there. Right fucking there. It's like, this is not exactly what one would call fair. I'm going to tell you that right now. I do not know the name of this map, so yeah, I would recommend steering clear of it if at all possible. It's like, no goddamn ammo. I think the idea is you're supposed to kind of like run in here and try to grab that without two... or something. I don't even know what you're supposed to do there. Yeah, this is not going to end well. Why don't we, if they're going to be cheap like that, why don't we just give all, shall we? Ooh, I like the rocket design. That's just a grenade launcher. Why don't we just be cheap and just cheat in some weapons, shall we? I like cheating in weapons. Although I couldn't get the cheat codes to work with Shadow of Oblivion. I'll tell you this though. If I actually had played Turok 3 back in the day as a kid, I know I would have cheated so bad. Because that game is indeed very, very difficult. Alright. If they're gonna do that, I'm probably still gonna die. All glory to the first man to die. All that to get one goddamn key. All that to get one key. I mean, that just doesn't even seem worth it. And I'm still down to 15 health. This level looks kind of good. It's just like, why is there a Cyber Demon literally within the first 5 seconds? This is a very big level. A very big level. But it seems like it might be slightly more fair than Cyber Demon to the face. Just saying. Just saying. I'd love to know what level WAD this is, though. Because, like, Cyber Demon to the face in the first couple of seconds? Why, I ask you? Let's see. I don't know how you can beat that game without dying. Alright, I'll check ModDB again. Like I said, I downloaded this many, many months ago. And I've just now gotten a chance to get around to it. Because life, work, and all the rest. I also started reading the Dell comics for Turok. They actually kind of hold up. They're actually much more entertaining than you might think. For something from that era. Because Turok dates back all the way to the 50s. So I'm sure no one actually remembers how old Turok actually is. And it's surprising that it's endured as long as it has. But I can see why it actually has endured, because it actually is pretty entertaining. Why is there another Cyber Demon? Okay, that's enough of this. That is enough of this WAD. Why is there a Cyber Demon already? That is not fair. Not fair at all. Let's see. Maybe this is the one I wanted to show. Maybe it's a little more fair than multiple Cyber Demons. Stormbow is the best option. Firestorm Cannon. I will have to take a look at that. I don't think I've gotten the Firestorm Cannon. One thing I do like about Turok 3 is if you play as Danielle Fireseed, you get the grappling hook. Any game that gives me an epic grappling hook, I automatically love. It's actually kind of amazing just what they were able to do. Yeah, this is the mod I wanted to show. It's actually amazing just what the developers were able to do in the year 2000 on the N64. Because that grappling hook works really, really well. But back to the original Turok. In the very first Turok comic, they do get to the Lost Land, but there's no, like, cyber dinosaurs or anything like that. It's just regular dinosaurs. And Turok actually has a little buddy named Andar, who is basically Robin. I haven't actually finished the first comic yet, because I just started it today. But it's basically kind of like Native American Batman and Robin in some respects. It's just a basic 50s adventure comic, but it's pretty entertaining. And it's also kind of hilarious to see like the classic dinosaur designs, where like the T-Rex looks pretty much like Godzilla, because he's a tail dragger. Do I have any ammo for this? Oh, I think this might be infinite ammo or something. Why is there already a Baron of Hell? Oh yeah, this did get a flashlight. Flashlight looks pretty good. And I do like a lot of the Doom 64 sound effects in this mod as well. I'm definitely going to have to take a look at the updated one. But already this older version has impressed me quite a bit. The motion blur is interesting. I don't dislike it, but I've never been a big fan of motion blur in games. It always kind of gave me a little bit of motion sickness. But I've also got to read the 90s Turok comics. I think there's actually another one that's been released somewhat recently. But I have not read it as of yet. Save. Just keep saving as one. There we go. The N64 never fails to impress me, though. It's like, that had a lot of really advanced games for the time. Really, Turok 3 really does feel quite a bit like... I do like how the punches in this kind of stun-lock enemies, thus making the punches actually worth a damn. Just fucking beat the shit out of him! Yes, I was able to punch a Kako demon to death. I love it. Yeah, I really do like the punches in this. Much more than some of the other weapon mods I've played. And I also like the new Barons of Hell. Save. Give me all the saves. Stormbow, tech bow. Yeah, I got the tech bow already. Balance of wire to get to it. Oh, upgrade sphere. Yeah, cyber demons can go fucking jump off a fucking cliff. Like, that's the best I got at 9 o'clock at night. After being up since 4:30 in the morning. And I really like BFG Division just starting up in the middle of like a giant combat zone. That is a nice touch. Actually, I think it has like a massive amount of hair. Like biker hair. Now see, this is a good level 1. There's not too many enemies, and it's actually, you know, fun. Versus Cyber Demon right to the goddamn face. Do I have any ammo for this? The flashlight could use a little range, though. At least in this version. I imagine the updated version probably fixes it. BFG Division. I hope there's an even better song in Doom Eternal. Like something that can be as iconic as that. I have to admit, BFG Division has really grown on me to the point... Oh, you can mantle in this game! Alright. It's awesome, I love it. The mantling actually works. Although I love how... Okay, so Doomslayer here is going to mantle over a chair. Either the Doomslayer is a midget or, yeah. The Doomslayer is a midget or he's very, overdramatic. Save. Even to this day, I do love me some tech base. Save again. And hello, Vulcan. Oh yeah, the Acclaim comics have like those weird crossovers with heroes that unfortunately no one ever really remembers. Yeah, the Stormbow is... Oh, I have the Tech Bow. That's what it is. The tech bow is actually pretty powerful, at least from what little I have used of it. But I generally prefer using the combat rifle, which has that excellent little 3-round burst. Now, in real life, 3-round bursts are completely worthless from what I've heard. There's always a tendency to override the trigger. But really, 3-round bursts just aren't really that amazing. It's like semi-auto is still the best way to go with just about anything outside of a video game. In this game, I can carry a shitload of ammo, whereas in real life, that's not quite as easy. But so far, I'm really enjoying Slayers Rampage here. I really like the, I didn't like the motion blur at first, but I'm starting to enjoy that. I'm usually not a big fan of motion blur, and that hurt a lot. Like, a lot. But it's just amazing that Turok survived, you know, since the 50s, and people still know about him. We got BFG Division again. People still know about him, and he's still a pretty cool character. I mean, he and his Robin equivalent basically pincushion a Dimetrodon, even though that, of course, is not a dinosaur, apparently. Oh yeah, and dinosaurs in the 50s were still thought of as lizards versus warm-blooded. I think that was, they were still thought to be cold-blooded for whatever reason at the time. I think it was Jurassic Park that popularized the idea of the warm-blooded dinosaur, but do not hold me to that, because I do not know altogether that much about the dinosaurs. I don't have any ammo for anything I do, but I am really hurt. I mean, you got BFG Division, original Doom kind of combat, and Doom 3 level design. You can't get much better than that, in my opinion. Let's punch him! That was a bad idea. Do not punch. Remember, do not punch a Hell Knight in the face. You will come to almost immediately regret it. I'm trying to headshot him. Trying being the opposite word. Give me all the ammo. Give it all to me. I wonder if I'm supposed to be able to mantle up here. I don't think that mod was quite designed for mantling in mind. I also like the footstep sound effects. I think those sound effects come from Counter-Strike. They sound very Counter-Strike-y. That's another game I need to play again. I've not played Counter-Strike in like over 3 years now. And Counter-Strike holds up pretty well. 2-round bursts aren't really that amazing in real life. Turok and Shadow Man. That just sounds metal. I will play Skyrim and Oblivion at some point in the future, because there is a Skyrim mod that I want to show off. That is sort of a modern-day updating of Daggerfall, but I'm not sure when I'm going to get to that. I got the Mag 60 as well, and it works well enough. Turok game release. Escape from Lost Valley? I've never even heard of that. Although, why do I get the sneaking suspicion that it's some sort of phone game? Well, honestly, Escape from Lost Valley, my first thought is that it's going to be an endless runner. You know, pay $50 to have Turok run slightly faster. But you know what? If it was one of those games and the company offered me X number of dollars to advertise that, oh yes, I would totally do that. It's like, I'm Lotz, and the Endless Runner Turok game is my favorite game on the Citadel. Eventually I'm going to talk about Mass Effect, but I have no time for that this year. This level could use just a little bit more ammo. Just a little bit. Because there's a lot of enemies, and I'm being completely eradicated. Okay, time to give ammo. I don't feel... I'm going to blame it on the chat. Remember, when in doubt, blame everything on the chat. This level has nice design, but it really needs just a tiny bit more ammo. Just a little bit more ammo. I mean, I'm finding enough help. Well, there's the ammo. There's the ammo. Okay, you know what? I will actually be fair and reload the save. I don't want to end the game. I want to turn messages off. Yes, I know how to play a video game. Why would I not? There we go. Okay, I will actually not cheat. What I will do instead is I will just dodge past him and grab all that sweet, sweet ammo. Even though that is not for any weapon that I actually have, apparently. And is this locked? Yep. It's like some sort of puzzle room. Am I trapped in here or something? Ooh. An 88 caliber. That seems, a bit, oh crap. Why is there an arch violin here? Why must there be an arch violin here? It is not fair. I like the sound effects on the 88 caliber revolver. That seems a bit far-fetched, but okay. Okay. Although, that makes me think of something like 45-70 revolver. Those do exist. Although why they exist, I do not know. Oh, they actually got some shells. I hate large files. I despise them with every fiber of my... dead. With every fiber of my being. Give me that. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna save. This is gonna be a... It's going to be a tough slog. Come on. Because once I finally kill that bastard... Shit, shit, shit. Ugh. They do way too much damage. They did shit tons of damage back in the original Doom 2, and they still do it today. And that did not actually... Okay, there we go. Crap, I'm gonna die again. I can't escape arenas, you know. Descent sound. Oh yeah, that is a descent sound. It's not a phone game. Okay, good. And it's not a runner. Oh, it's isometric. Oh, I'm gonna have to look at that. Actually, I kind of like that record scratch thing. Can I open the door? Nope. Is every mod I play today gonna be cheap like this? I think it. I think it is. I think I'm just trapped with. The problem is I'm gonna get killed by one of those things before I can actually get to it, and I've got way too weak of weapons. So you know what I think we're gonna have to do? I think we're just gonna have to cheat and kill that bastard. And then he immediately killed when I turned the God mode off. Let's just give all for right now. Not act. All. There we go. Oh, I won't BFG it. But I will use this. Now see, if only I could have gotten that weapon, that would have made things so much easier. I would have actually had, you know, a chance. Or, you know, a double-barreled shotgun, that always helps. I find it amazing that in the intervening time, since I did Turok 2, that there now does indeed exist a double-barreled pump-action shotgun. The DP-12 is a thing. And I find that absolutely hilarious. Not that the DP-12 is really good for anything, but it is a thing, and it does exist. Although I would love to know the sales numbers on the DP12. Because in all honesty, who goes out and spends, what is it, like $1,200 on a shotgun? A shotgun, especially a double-barreled pump-action shotgun. I almost feel like they designed that just to prove me wrong when I say that no one would ever actually use a double-barreled pump-action shotgun. It's like they just wanted to personally prove me wrong. And that just eradicated him. It's like, yes, must be 4570. Well, I already kind of gave all, but whatever. That lava looks okay. Could look a little better, though. But at least now, he's got some ammo and some weapons to work with. I actually kind of like the record scratch. It kind of gives it just a little, I also like whatever weapon this is. It's like, I definitely think that the Doomslayer, at least in this mod, gets up to a little bit of fapperoo because his arm must be like made of steel to be able to rack that slide that fast. And there's only one way to get that fast. But anyway, that need not detain us at this time. I mean, this mod is kind of impressive. I mean, I like the level design, but there's just not enough ammo. But I'm definitely enjoying Slayers Rampage, and I'm definitely looking forward to actually trying the updated version. Because already this is pretty damn good. Especially this shotgun here, which I just completely wasted all my ammo for. Because who needs ammo? So there definitely needs to be another Turok first-person shooter. Unless that mobile game is a first-person shooter, and then, well, can that please be brought to Steam? There's another Turok game I may review at some point in the future. That is a GBA Turok game that's actually pretty good. I played that many times over a decade ago. God, I'm old. And I remember it being a decent little Metal Slug clone. I think it was made as a tie-in for Turok Evolution, I think. Eventually, I need to play the GameCube version of Turok Evolution because it's supposed to be far better than the Xbox and PS2 versions. So I may need to change my opinion on that. May need to change my opinion on that. We'll just have to see. There's that goddamn Spectre. They're not just hard to see, they're goddamn invisible. Now, no one's gonna get that reference unless you read Predator Cold War. Now that's a book and comic that has not aged well. Let's see. And hello, Textorm. Homemade variant called... Oh yeah, there was that Remington double barrel that kind of had the... it was basically two shotguns. Slayer's Testaments. Oh, yeah! That's the Quake mod, I think. Became the gunpowder. We'll see if Night Dive gets to do that. That would be kind of interesting to see. It would also be kind of interesting to see as a retro-style shooter based upon sort of like a Turok mindset. But I don't know if they would actually do it right, though. I happen to like Shadow of Oblivion a little bit more today than I do Turok 1 and 2, at least from what I remember. Yeah, I remember there's a lot of wandering in Turok 1 and 2, whereas Turok 3 is just getting on with it. Now, back when I was a kid, I had a lot more time to play a lot of these games, so meandering wasn't a bad thing. But today, it's like, let's get on with it! Just give me a goddamn level to fight through. Or it might not be as meandering as I might think, because my memories might have faded over time. We shall just have to see. I need to replay Turok 1 and 2 at some point. Because it has been a very long time. Okay, I need to find a red door. Let's hope nobody painted it black, because that'd be really hard to find. Now this little train section here does indeed remind me of Quake 2, where you find one of those. I think it's supposed to be somewhat Quake 2 inspired, at least to some degree. See, unless I'm supposed to, oh, I was supposed to go here. Save. Save. For the love of God, save. Always save. I wonder if I was supposed to even be here. Because, well, they're completely clueless. Because they are pinkies, after all. Quake Xmas Jam, huh? Turok 3, it was trying to be Half-Life. Yeah, I don't really see it being I don't really see Turok 3 being the answer to Half-Life because, well, and this is going to be as the cool kids would say, a hot take. But it's a lot better than Half-Life. Not gonna lie. I had some praise of Half-Life in the Half-Life review from many years ago, but Half-Life, I don't see the appeal. You know, especially when you look at other games of the time. I don't see why people make it as like this god-tier game. It's a good first-person shooter, but Gordon Freeman is really uninteresting. I really like the sound off of that rocket. It sounds very deep, very throaty. I'm really enjoying the gore as well. Let's just save. But yeah, I don't really rate Half-Life that much. It's just not that... It lacks, to me at least, anything approaching personality. Gordon Freeman just does not in any way interest me at all. I mean, it's like, but he's a silent protagonist, and it's like, okay, we've had silent protagonists before, and Gordy doesn't really do anything that different to begin with. I mean, if you're a fan of Half-Life, that's great, and it's a valid opinion, but I just don't really see where people get off on the game as like it's somehow god tier. Yeah, the levels are decent, the story is there, but, I mean, it's just a lot of other games did the whole concept better, and yeah. Oh, that's heretical. And don't even get me started on Half-Life 2. I've mentioned that in many live streams that I just am not a fan of Half-Life 2. I'm still not. I mean, it doesn't have much personality, and it's just not that great. Oh, crap. I like explosive rounds. I like them a lot. I really like this rifle. I mean, whatever it hits, it destroys. But I imagine it has, like, some splash damage. Oh, crap. Yep, I just got completely eradicated. Honestly, that rifle does more damage than the rocket. I am so hurt, it's not even funny. Save. Check the chat here. And yeah, well, I wanted to stream at some point at the beginning of the year, so yeah. Say aliens. Schwarzenegger impression. I like the sound of that. Black Mesa doesn't... I've played Black Mesa before it became an actual real game, and I didn't find it to be that amazing either. I'm just not a big fan of Half-Life. It just... In my opinion, it's just not worth the praise it consistently gets. And dead. And dead. This is like my playthrough earlier today of Turok 3. I just was constantly getting eradicated on that military base level. The bosses for Turok 3 are quite good. And fairly imaginative. The first boss is literally a police hover van that is possessed by Cthulhu and actually gets a giant mouth. And I was able to kill it by hitting it with a tomahawk multiple times. And the next boss was some sort of tentacle hentai monster. I mean, it was quite good, and I blew myself up. God damn it. It'd be better if I didn't if I wasn't stuck with 2 health. That's one problem. Some of these Doom wads can get very ridiculous in their difficulty. I think I might have to go to an old standby and just play some Maps of Chaos before I call it a day. The holidays were quite good indeed. Ah, crap. Were quite good indeed. And yeah, I got a couple things that were pretty cool, most notably some action figures. Got a couple of classic, god damn it, Star Wars figures. Okay, let's try this one more. I'm gonna beat this WOD and actually play something that's fun. There's too many high-level enemies interspersed, so the difficulty's all... Okay, fuck it. Good level design. Piss off. Hey, screw you. Okay, let's play something that is actually fun. Thank you, maps. Hey, what's Genesis? I don't even know what this map is. Let's try that instead. Let's be dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, a Doomslayer action figure. I didn't even know those things existed. I kind of want a Doomslayer action figure. I do not know what map this is, but let's try it anyway. Yeah, I got a Power of the Force Lando and a... what's the other one? Actually, let's go take a look, shall we? Oh, it's Tarkin. That's what it was. I thought for a second it might have been Leia. The two best things were Power of the Force Lando. This is the extra ripped Lando. I absolutely love it because 90s. Back in the 90s, everybody was ripped. Luke, ripped. Han, ripped. Lando, look at that. He's been hitting the gym and drinking nothing but raw eggs and wheat germ. Whereas, yeah, Grand Moff Tarkin's looking a little weedy, but I love to have a Tarkin finally. And I actually got some Black Series as well. Because, well, Black Series isn't bad. And there's actually some halfway decent modern Star Wars stuff coming out. Most notably, Cal Kestis. He's actually pretty cool. I'm quite enjoying Jedi Fallen Order, even though I don't have much time to play it. And then we got the first boss of the game that is the supposed to lose fight, Second Night Sister. It's a cool design. I mean, modern Star Wars isn't all bad, it's just like 95% bad. And then last but certainly not least, we got the First Order Stormtrooper. There's a few problems with the First Order that I will get into, like, now. The armor looks pretty cool, but it's really stupid. Okay, so the First Order is going around press ganging kids into their army. Now, this is supposed to be evil, but it makes no sense. Why would you not, forcibly conscript, like let's say you're really scraping the bottom of the manpower barrel. Why would you not just conscript, like teenagers, people between the ages of like 18 and, or maybe not even 18, like say 16 and like 45, something like that. Like the Nat Sox did back in World War II. Why not do that? Why kids? Because you're going to have to raise those kids to actually fight for many, many years. It's much easier to take, like a teenager and hand him a rifle and throw him at the enemy, which I assume is what they're doing. And it's like, why? It makes no sense other than evil. That's why I constantly call Episode 9 a children's film, because that is, Captain Planet, loot and plunder kind of like logic, because it makes no sense to anyone who actually has a background in literature or anything like that. I think I've played whatever this mod is before. It looks familiar. When you played this many Doom mods over the years, it's like, yeah. But First Order, pretty stupid. I think that's one of the problems with, that's one of the many problems with Disney Wars. But I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed Episode 9. It was the best of a bad lot. It was JJ's Revenge of the Sith, and he did an absolutely adequate job. Evidently, according to some of the rumors, he got completely screwed over by Disney, which I'm not surprised at all, but that's the fortunes of dealing with with a company like Disney. So yeah, I assume I'm supposed to go down here, or not. Let's see here. Yeah, the Sith Troopers are barely in there. And you gotta love how ripped some of those figures were. Blade and Sorcery VR game. I've not played anything VR in some time. Yeah, I left the theater feeling pretty good. And it was the most Star Wars film of all the Disney Wars. Shoot that? Okay, that's what that was. So what did that do? Oh, that's what that did. So, yeah, Disney Wars... I don't know why Disney just decided to completely ruin a franchise that could have printed money. There's a rumor about how they wanted to sabotage it so it wouldn't interfere with Marvel profits, but that doesn't make any sense. Because why would you not want to have two profitable franchises? So, yeah. At the end of it, Star Wars is pretty much dead and Disney is what killed it. And it didn't have to be that way. There's so many ways you could have made Star Wars, even Disney Wars, profitable. Hell, I mean, with Episode 9, if they would have cut it a little bit differently, they could have actually made that still viable for more films. Because Kylo and Rey, you know, they could have actually made for some decent characters because Kylo wasn't that bad in this movie. He still had his temper tantrums, which really annoyed me. I mean, you're supposed to be a Sith. Well, he's not even a Sith, but you're supposed to be, you know, this big bad guy, and yet you're acting like you're 12. It's like, why? And then, you know, it's like, you could have had him and Rey team up to fight some new big bad. I mean, it's Star Wars. There's literally a galaxy of adventure you could have. What I would have liked to have seen for an episode 10 is bring in something kind of like the Yuuzhan Vong, have Kylo and Rey reestablish the Jedi Knights. You could then have Lando be a major character. Basically, Han Solo, well, he could basically not really be the replacement for Han Solo, but still Han Solo's role. Because I think that's why they brought Lando on in the first place. Is the idea was, you know, Harrison Ford isn't coming back, so we need to have somebody that's just as cool as Harrison Ford, and Billy Dee is just as cool as Harrison Ford. And you could have had them go on various adventures, and I think people would have enjoyed it. But, alas, that is not to be, because they ended up killing off Kylo, and, you know, even then, you don't really want to remember too much of episode 7 and 8 when you go into 9, otherwise it makes even less sense than it already does. Because if you only know a little bit about Kylo and Rey, it makes some kind of sense that they would get together. But if you think about it at all for any point in time, it's like, why would two former enemies with no prior, you know, relationship fall in love? It doesn't make much sense if you think about it. If you just kind of ignore it and take it for what it is, you can kind of see it. At least I did when I watched it. So, yeah. OG Stormtroopers. Crosshair's way too thick. Yeah, it is pretty big. Order 66 Part 2. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, the Land of Adventures were pretty good. I don't think Palps would clone himself that much. That doesn't make too much sense. But it is quite interesting to see Dark Empire basically Disneyized. And, you know, it kind of works. But that's still, you know, JJ taking a previously established thing and kind of putting his own, shall we say, spin on it. It still was a film that was perfectly adequate. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but let's put it this way. I got to see another Star Wars movie, and it wasn't so horrible I wanted to rip up the ticket and then throw it at the screen. Crap. Come on, go. Get through here. Eventually I do need to start talking about Jedi Fallen Order because it's surprisingly good, and the story is surprisingly good for what it is. Now, it's completely generic, but it's still... Completely generic is not always a bad thing, especially considering what we could potentially get. So, yeah. Now, one other review I'm going to get to this year is Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I haven't had a chance to really play that past the first introductory level, but overall I'm enjoying that quite a bit as well. I mean, it's obvious that it's almost the level of a mod, really, but it's still quite fun, and I'm quite enjoying the cheesy 80s aesthetic. But then again, I can enjoy anything cheesy in 80s. Crap. Okay, we need to turn and fire. Save. Ooh, we're almost to the exit. Why must there be so many revenants? I hate revenants. Now, currently, I'm reading Order 66. I've been doing a complete reread of the Republic Commando series. Order 66 is probably one of the best books I've ever read by Karen Travis, and one of the best EU novels of all time. It builds on a lot of that continuity that is so important. Did I not pick up the key? Okay, I did. Oh, that'll open the door. Like, it shows the importance of continuity because you actually care about the characters, and it's like, you know what's coming, and it's like the whole book you're just kind of like on the edge of your seat. When's it gonna drop? When is Order 66 gonna finally drop? And like, all the characters need to get off of Coruscant, but they don't know that they do, and they're constantly like finding little bits of information that kind of explains what's going on with the Clone Wars. It's absolutely perfection. And it's one of those things where, you know, continuity is so important when it comes to any sort of franchise. Let's see, I think we'll do one more level that I'm going to call today. Mando has not gotten woke. Not much is happening in that particular show. Oh, you don't know what Order 66 is? Order 66 is the eradication of the Jedi. The Mandalorian is... Well, the big problem with The Mandalorian is it hasn't gone woke or anything like that. It's just nothing happens in that show. Nothing. The plot has not moved in the entire... Past episode 3, the plot does not move. Nothing happens. Literally, nothing happens. Everything is resolved within its own episode. The two-parter basically begins and ends with nothing happening. And it's like, why? Why? It started out so good. I'm going to watch season 2, but nothing happened. Here's a spoiler alert. At the end of episode 8 of Mandalorian, the status quo is preserved. We still don't know anything about the O-Baby. We still know nothing about why the Empire wanted him, what they'd use him for, where he came from, what the Mando's going to do with him. Nothing. It's basically just a bunch of one-off episodes where not much of real import takes place. And that's kind of annoying because, well, I am really hurt. Give me some health. It's kind of disappointing because there's a lot of strong elements to it, but nothing much happens. There's a Prison Break episode that is so generic it's not even funny. There's a Star Wars equivalent to Harley Quinn. It's a Twi'lek who acts exactly like Harley Quinn, but for some reason hisses randomly. It all is kind of, well, cringy in that regard. So yeah, I like the show, but it's just not very amazing. So like, at least give us some hint as to what is going to actually, you know, happen. We have some plot. please. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of plot. Just a tiny bit. Just some. Yeah, there's going to be a video on the AK probably next month. Just gotta get some time to actually go there. Hey, that Twi'lek is exactly like Harley Quinn. She even kind of moves like Harley Quinn. And the Leku are basically, you know, the pigtails. So, yeah, really kind of derivative in that regard. And of course the Mando, oh yeah, spoiler alert, leaves everyone alive because children's show. Even though, like, here's the thing. The Mando shoots, like, all the bad guys. But he leaves a crew of obviously sadistic murderers alive because... and reasons. It's just... and of course he leaves, you know, Twi'lek Harley Quinn alive, despite the fact that she kills a completely innocent prison guard. So, yeah, it's like, why? Eventually I'll get to reviewing those episodes, it's just not a lot of time. God damn it. Just not a lot of time. I'm focusing more on the important, god damn it, important videos versus just sort of like the filler. Crap, I hate those bastards! Now we get fried. No, I'm not. PSG Division. Is there any better song? I hate Revenants. I've always hated them. For over 20 years, I've hated those crets. This is paperwork. I do not know if SBRs require yearly inspections. I would imagine not, seeing as how there's many more of those than there are actual machine guns. Oh yeah, he could have done that. I didn't even think of that. But he could have. Also, you gotta love how we don't know why he wanted it. You know, it's like, why? Oh, why? Where did the writing go? Where did the writing go? I love how, like, I literally have less health than when I actually circled around him to grab the health. So, yeah, Star Wars is back, but it's still not that amazing anymore. And, like, when you read a book like Order 66, it's like, damn. Star Wars could be so much more than it is. It's like, the writing is really, really good. Sadly, Karen Travis would kind of go off the deep end a little bit. But before she did that, she was quite excellent as a writer, that is for sure. And the original Mandalorian culture did not require you to have your helmet on all the goddamn time. It's like, I don't really know why they made that a thing. Well, actually, I do know why they made that a thing, and it's simple expedience. You don't have to have the same stuntman in the suit all the time. You can just have his helmet on, and you'd never know if it was a different guy or not. Which is actually pretty clever now that I think of it, but still. It doesn't make too much sense from a story standpoint. But whatever. Thanks, Disney. Thanks. Alright, we're gonna finish this level and then call it a day. The Mentor and the Scout Troopers were okay, but still. I think the reason why there's not a 5.56 Chris Vector is no one really wants one. That's one thing that in-range TV really gets right. No one's going to buy something that doesn't really confer an advantage over what already exists. It's kind of like with the AK and the AR. I mean, no matter how great the recoil system is in a Chris Vector, is it so much better that it's worth, you know, however many thousands of dollars it's going to take to purchase one versus just getting an AR and putting up with recoil. Or like the AK. The AK is an interesting example. From what little I've shot of my AK, the ancient slant break does a good job of recoil mitigation, so it's like, why would you need something more advanced that's not going to give you that much more of a advantage than just a slant break? Please tell me I have some ammo with something. And that's one problem with firearms today, is it's very hard to, well, do much better and have it be enough better to actually make a difference. Give me health. Give me all the health. Come on, come on. That's why the AR has been able to... That's why the AR and the AK both have been able to endure for many, many, many years. I mean, the AK is a very old design, but it still works. And it works quite well. Just mantle over everything! Oh, he's quite enjoying the mantling in this. I think whatever mini this is... Crap. That's a lot of them. Now, one firearm that I'm really looking forward to this year is the Ruger 57, or Ruger 57, which is a pistol chambered in the 5.7mm. That I'm looking at with great interest. Of the AK-101, I do not know what that is at the moment. Ah, MIDI. Back in the old days, MIDI, ad-lib, and things of that nature. That was the best we had, and, well, I never really liked ad-lib music, or I think it's ad-lib. Or is it ant-lib? I forget exactly. I forget exactly. These are some very large, very open-ended levels, and I'm not sure they really work that well. I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this too much. Alright, we're going for about an hour. Yeah, I think we're supposed to be over here. There's just too much to fucking shoot at. Ooh, just completely evaporating these bastards. Alright, that is enough for today, ladies and gentlemen. That Revenant has just pissed me off to the point where I cannot stand it. Well, 2020, despite getting blasted by a Revenant, is off to a good start so far. And so, I am General Lotz. I'm going to wish you good. What's something good? Order 66, or whatever, makes you happy.